What is up, my fellow gamers out there? I don't know how was your experience with Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS1, but mine was okay. I was an hour into the game. Finally, I learned how to drift those cars. I was really enjoying the controls, the fantastic music, the tracks, and a bit of story as well, because the game has a story as well, believe it or not. And I was finishing the championship, and don't forget, I was just playing it for an hour now, and the game ended. And I was like, what? The credits rolled, and I was like, what's going on? I went back to the main menu to see what's going on, but yeah, that was it. I finished the game in an hour. So my experience was, if I had to summarize in just basically in a sentence, it would be like, it was a really nice experience, but a short and really should last longer. Well, that's what she said. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're very kind. Okay, alright. I promise I'm not going to make any more these kind of horrible jokes throughout the video. So instead, let's start the engines and the video, and I'm going to tell you why Ridge Racer Type 4 is a fantastic game on the PS1 and why you really should play it. Let's get started. Back in 2001, I owned this game on the original PlayStation. Or more accurately, I owned it, played it a bit here and there, but I couldn't figure out how the drifting worked, so I dismissed the game and placed it back onto my backlog to play it one day. So, Ridge Racer Type 4 sat there for 25 years, because unlike games such as Gran Turismo, Ridge Racer always felt very different to me. Because the cars didn't behave realistically, which is not a problem, but here everything is very different. The handling feels exaggerated, the drifting feels and looks completely unnatural, and back then I simply didn't understand what the game wanted from me. But now, 25 years later, I decided it was finally time to see what Ridge Racer Type 4 is about. As I started to play and try to figure out the controls and how should I drift the cars, I understood something. This game isn't trying to be realistic and it isn't trying to simulate driving. It wants you to slide around corners in a very unrealistic way while listening to some cool music and admire the fantastic tracks and the scenery. And once I accepted that, everything suddenly clicked. Ridge Racer Type 4 is good. To understand why Ridge Racer Type 4 became so beloved, we have to go back to 1998. Back then, the Ridge Racer series was already one of Namco's flagship franchises. The original Ridge Racer helped showcase what arcade-style 3D racing could look like, but Type 4 was different, because this wasn't just another sequel, this was a series reaching its artistic peak. The moment you start the game you can feel this, and I remember back in 2001 I experienced it too. I'm talking about this legendary intro sequence which still looks incredible. I cannot really express what I love in this, but the whole vibe of it. You see the stereo system turning on, which looks very modern and expensive. Then the music begins, which gives you a clue what kind of music you can expect in the game. Then a young woman walks through the city and you wonder if this could be Tokyo or just random fictional city. The camera works with cinematic as she stops next to the road. Then comes a supercar, which you already know that you are driving. The whole atmosphere, the style and everything screams late 90s, early 2000s cool. Even today, it remains one of the best introductions I ever seen in a racing game. Not because it's technically impressive anymore, because it's not 4K and if you look at it, it's pixelated, but because it instantly creates a mood. You don't feel like you are starting a racing game. You feel like you're stepping into a world. And it is true, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere along the start of the game literally says, "Welcome to the world of Ridge Racer." One thing that genuinely surprised me that the game has a story. Now don't expect a full RPG style story because this is still an arcade racer. But there's actually a progression system and narrative structure which gives an interesting side story while you are racing around. So, as you expect, you start your career as a rookie driver. Nobody knows you who you are, nobody believes in you. Even your own team treats you like a long shot. The garage boss practically laughs at your chances. And from there, as you expect, you slowly start climbing through the racing world, winning races, earning respect, and building your reputation. And watching people's attitudes completely change once success starts arriving. The story is divided into 3 different team paths. Each team has its own manager, its own atmosphere, its own character interactions, and a slightly different narrative presentation. Unfortunately, the actual racing content remains mostly the same, the tracks largely shared between routes, so while replayability exists, it isn't dramatically different. But let's talk about the thing Ridge Racer is famous for, the drifting. As I already mentioned, this is not the realistic style of racing, and not at all. Instead, you throw the car sideways literally, and you learn how to maintain control. You slide through a corner at a speed that should probably violate several laws of physics, and it works beautifully. Once the rhythm clicks, every race becomes incredibly satisfying. You are no longer fighting the controls, you are dancing with them, and I know it sounds cheesy, but this is the best way I can describe my experience. And suddenly, you understand why so many people fell in love with this series. Then there is a soundtrack. And this soundtrack carries the game from great to legendary. The electronic music perfectly matches the atmosphere. I more than a few times noticed how cool the music is and turn up the volume to enjoy it even more. The tracks create this relaxing yet energetic vibe that feels uniquely Japanese and late 90s. Even today, many racing games struggle to create an inner identity this strong. 25 years later, I was still finding myself nodding along the music while drifting through corners. And that's usually a good sign that I'm having a good time and enjoying the game. And then came my biggest surprise, the length of the game, or shall I say the lack of length. I genuinely thought I was still in the early stages of the game after finishing the championship. I expected another championship with a middle kind of difficulty, with new tracks, and after that a hard difficulty championship with more progression, more cars, and more story. As I was genuinely enjoyed the game, and I was, let's say, at the peak point where I wanted to play it more. Then the credits rolled, and I sat there thinking, what? That was the whole game? I couldn't believe it. I had finished the main route in roughly an hour. An hour, yes. I went back to the main menu to look around where is the next championship option, but there was nothing. I even went online to the cyberspace to find answers, maybe I had a demo disc or something, but no. Force confirmed that Ridge Racer Type 4 is short. Now, okay, to be fair, the game was designed around multiple playthroughs. There are 3 teams, different cars, different paths, and different endings, but even considering that, I was shocked by how quickly everything wrapped up, because the game is so enjoyable that it feels like it should continue for much longer. And I know that this is PS1, I don't need hundreds of cars and tracks, but if Gran Turismo 2 could give massive content to players, I think Namco could do the same. Ridge Racer Type 4 is one of those rare games where style and atmosphere are just important as gameplay. The drifting feels fantastic, the soundtrack is very good, the presentation is timeless, and the whole experience has an identity that many modern racing games still struggle to match. My only complaint is that I wanted more tracks, more races, more story, more reasons to stay in this world. But maybe that's the highest compliment I can give it, because after 25 years of waiting to finally understand Ridge Racer Type 4, I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed that it ended. I think this shows how good this PS1 game is. So, should you play Ridge Racer Type 4 on PS1? Definitely yes. If you've not played it yet, or if you played it for a long time ago, it's still worth playing. And despite the game is very short, because you can finish it in an hour, I'm considering it very short, but even if you need really time to familiarize yourself with the controls and how to drift the cars, that would, okay, max 2 hours, but that's still, it's a very, very quick game session. So, and I know that it's an arcade game, but this is how it is. But the good news is, if this 1 or 2 hours maximum, it's a very good experience. So I'd rather play something short, which is really good, than something long which is very boring. So definitely, and don't be afraid of the controls, because it takes a while to learn how to really turn and twist those cars, and when the corner is getting over, how you manage to get back. But once it clicks, you're going to enjoy it. And what I mentioned in the review, that it feels like a dance, and it's like, I know it sounds cheesy because it's a racing game, but it is like, once you really figure out how to approach a corner, when to just release the acceleration and just just drift the car. That's really satisfying feeling, and it just the music really complements the experience and the tracks as well. So it's definitely a really solid game, and it really shows how quite high quality the game is, because it has been made a really long time ago and it's still a good experience. Okay, don't talk about the graphics. Okay, the graphics is PS1 32-bit, so don't expect really anything like really high quality, but in PS1 and 32-bit standards it is a high quality and definitely a good game. And it's short, but the good news is there are many Ridge Racer games which we can experience. Ridge Racer 2, for example, on the PSP, it's a very good game. I played it back in 2007, but I'm going to play it again. And on the PS3 there is Ridge Racer, I don't know, some Ridge Racer game which is also very solid and with modern graphics. And on the PS2 as well, Ridge Racer 5. So there are many games. I don't know how good they are. I don't remember the PS3 one. The PSP is very solid, and the PS2 version I don't know, because I have not played it yet, but I will. So make sure to check out Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS1. You're not going to regret it. And if you played it and you enjoyed it, or if not, let me know in the comments below. And now, if I can suggest, check out this rally game on the PS1, because this one is also very good, definitely worth checking. So click here and check out that video as well. I hope that you enjoyed this YouTube review today. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next Backlog Quest video. Goodbye.